Tes. Tes, tes.
Good afternoon, everyone. Test. Can you hear me okay?
Hi, good day, Luca. Can you hear me?
Hello,
Antonino.
this is Antonino.
Hi, Antonino. How are you?
I'm doing fine, thank you. How about you?
Well, we are doing great here. We have 30 participants, I guess, here. So in a couple of minutes, we will start again because we are still having a break, the lunch break.
Yes, no problem. Can you hear me and see me correctly? Is
Yes.
the sound and the video okay?
Yes, I can hear you perfectly well. I can see you also.
Very good.
That's no problem, I think. Okay, we will start in a couple of minutes. I will notify you when the show starts.
No problem.
Okay.
Thank you.
Recording in progress.
Oke, selamat siang. Cek, tes. Can you hear my sound, Antonino? Can you
Yes,
hear me?
I can.
Okay.
I can hear you.
Okay, great. I will first greet all the participants in Bahasa, then I will switch to English for you. Oke, selamat siang Bapak Ibu para peserta di Zoom maupun teman-teman peserta seminar ini di UPH langsung, dan juga kepada Bapak Ibu peserta undangan dan juga yang tadi sudah sebagai pembicara di pagi hari dari Buntara, ada Pak Medi, Pak Priyo, dan juga saya lihat dari Jaya udah ada juga Pak Ari, Pak Imam, dan Pak Edwin, Pak Ari, semuanya selamat siang. Kita udah memasuki sesi kedua, dan topik sesi kedua hari ini adalah mengenai teknologi recycled dan rejuvenating pada asfalt. Nah, untuk materi yang kedua hari ini akan dibawakan oleh pembicara dari Italia. So, the second session of this webinar will be presented by the presenter from Italy, from Iterchemica. Here with me there are Antonino, who is a Sustainability Business Development Director at Iterchemica, and also we'll continue with Luca. I think Luca is also here already, who is a Technical Assistant and Laboratory Technician at Iterchemica. Setelah sesi dari Iterchemica, dua pembicara Iterchemica akan dilanjutkan langsung oleh Pak Ari Wibowo dari Jaya Konstruksi mengenai aplikasi dari teknologi recycled asphalt di Indonesia. So, without further ado, I think Antonino is ready. Can you share your screen maybe?
Yes, I can see you. Can you hear me and see me?
Yes, I can hear you well.
Very good.
So, yeah, if you can share your screen, then the floor is yours.
Yes, 1 second. It says that I'm not allowed to share my screen because of the organizer.
Okay. We will send it.
Would you mind maybe just displaying my presentation and sharing your screen? I can just say next slide.
I think you can now share your screen if it's more convenient for you. We have enabled it now.
Oh, I see. Okay, we'll do it again.
Yes, great.
Okay, can you?
Yes,
can you?
I can see it clearly now.
Okay, very good. Is this okay?
Yeah, sure. We can see it clearly from here.
Okay, very good. First of all, I'd like to thank everybody for organizing this. It's a pleasure being here and to give our contribute to this very interesting topic. We have 40 minutes, I understand. I will take this time to focus on the subject of interest, which is rejuvenation. At the same time, I allocated some time to introduce you our company, Iterchimica, and to give you a little bit of overview of what we do and provide you with a bit of the definition of the terminology I will be using. So in order to do so, I will be presenting our main solutions and technologies for the asphalt business. And because we believe that the use of recycled asphalt and rejuvenators are important in a series of applications, not only recycling the asphalt itself, but also recycling asphalt that is used for different application. So let me just provide you with some information of Iterchimica. It's a company that has been active exclusively in the field of the technologies for improving the performance of asphalt mix since 1967. As you see in the slide, the founder of the company started in Italy in 1967. And since then, the company has been providing services not only in the Italian market, but in more than 90 countries around the world, including Indonesia, of course. It's an Italian leader in this field. So we are not producing asphalt mix, but we are providing additives that are able to enhance the properties of asphalt, including the use of rejuvenators to recycle the asphalt, which is, as we know, rejuvenating the asphalt and recycling the asphalt in general has been active since the last 30 or 40 years, of course. So it's a standard practice in the business. But of course, nowadays it's becoming more and more important in terms of growing the percentage of rejuvenated asphalt, recycled asphalt in the mix. So it requires, the more you increase the amount of recycled asphalt in your produced asphalt, it requires some special technologies and additives. The Iterchimica doesn't focus only on recycled asphalt, but as I said, on a broad series of technologies, which I believe is important to see. And regarding Iterchimica, we like to stress the fact that our company is investing 5% of its turnover in research and development. And this has been done since the inception of the company, because of course it's very important to test new additives, new material, to be able to improve the performances of asphalt. And thanks to this effort in research and development, the company has developed 3 patents that are pending in more than 30 countries around the world, and 1 additional patent has been filed. In order to do so, we have ongoing collaborations with more than 30 universities at Italian level, but also international level. We will see a list of them. And hopefully the first one is Winterpave, which is an anti-icing additive. This is maybe not of strong interest in Indonesia because of the climate, but around the world it's of course an important issue in terms of providing safety to the road, and also to reduce the environmental impact of de-icing agents that are dispersed on the road. So we have developed an additive that goes in the asphalt mix to lower the freezing point of asphalt. Then we have developed a second patent, which is called G-Pave, which is an asphalt modifier. You see the patent is pending in several countries, including Indonesia as well. And I will spend a few more words on this because the first part of this session covered the modification of asphalt. So I'd like to touch base on that because there are a few concepts that we need to highlight also to understand recycled asphalt and the rejuvenation of asphalt. Then the third patent is the process which is called EcoPave, is the process that helps to retrieve the polymers within waste plastic. I understand that this is a very important subject in Indonesia at the moment. So this is, as I mentioned, the process for recycling hard plastic in the production of the polymer compounds that are used for the modification of asphalt. So I'd like to provide our point of view in that, because the polymers basically that helps the modification of asphalt can be sourced in the recycled plastic. So I understand from our experience that this is currently going on in Indonesia. So this can be an item of particular importance. And the fourth patent, which is micro G-Pave. So it's obviously related to the second patent that I've mentioned, which is G-Pave. That it allows to provide the micro layer of extremely low thickness. I'm talking about between 1 to 2 centimeters that can be placed on top or between existing layers in the asphalt pavement to add performance and for maintenance purposes as well. As I mentioned, 5% of the turnover of the company is constantly invested in research and development. You see just pictures of our 2 labs that we have. The pictures you see here are from the lab that where Luca is working. Luca is my colleague that will introduce specifically the technical aspects of rejuvenation right after me. So you see the typical equipment for the testing of the asphalt mix and the testing of the bitumen. And now you see more pictures of the typical equipment that we have, also in our other laboratory. That is the laboratory not only for the asphalt mixes, but also the laboratory for the materials, testing the polymers, testing our liquid additives, and in particular the one related to rejuvenation. This is a list of the Italian university that we are currently collaborating with, but I will focus more on the list of international universities that we are currently working. Maybe you are familiar with some of those, but with many of those, for instance, Braunschweig University in Germany is a quite important university in Italy that is focused on rejuvenators. As you know, as you probably know, in Germany there is currently a big effort moving towards recycled asphalt. Just as a piece of business intelligence I can share with you, I'm sure you're familiar with the German group Strabag, which is one of the largest construction group in the world. just 2 months ago has issued a very strong statement mentioning that within the next 20 years, Strabag aims to become carbon neutral, which means to offset all their carbon emission. This is a very bold statement in the area of recycled asphalt, because construction company, as you are aware, belongs to the family of hard to abate in terms of carbon companies. So Strabag is aiming to achieve up to 100% recycled asphalt within the next 20 years at all their project site in order to increase sustainability. And so this is an important thing because, of course, German university and Austrian university are placing a lot of emphasis on this, and Iterchimica is collaborating in many of those projects. Also, Turkey, for instance, as an emerging country in Europe, in the European area, and in the Middle East, is placing a lot of focus. So the Doküs Eylül University that you see listed and the Istanbul Technical University are placing a lot of effort in achieving 100% recycled asphalt. So recycled asphalt is definitely a major trend in the asphalt industry at the global level. As we said, we work in more than 90 countries, so we see this trend going quite strongly at the moment. Just a slide about the importance of going green. You all know this is a major mega trend that is occurring at the moment in the asphalt industry, not only the asphalt industry, but in all industries. So reducing carbon emission is it's a very important subject, and it has become of increasingly importance, especially with the geopolitical turmoil that we have witnessed in the last months, when the tension at international level have placed more stress on prices, especially the price of bitumen. But especially the cost of energy. These are probably things that are not affecting that much or not significantly Indonesia as much as Europe, which, as you know, is a market that has been hit and is currently being hit by this turmoil at geopolitical level. We had an average increase in the price of bitumen in Europe by 65%. And an increase of cost of energy in general between 300 and 400%, not only for industrial use, but also for households. So this has created really a dramatic effect in the industry of asphalt. And I like to stress and to talk about this because we have seen our clients since the war in Ukraine started in February earlier this year to be significantly more interested than the past to recycled asphalt, for the obvious reason that, of course, bitumen has become a scarce resource because its price has been rising very strongly. Although we now see some sign of slowing down, this decrease in price, it's in the range of 5 to 10%, which is not enough to compensate the significant increase that we witnessed in the last 6 months at least. So the importance to go green, it's of course, it's coupled with the need of make best use of our resources. Because in 2022, we realized how scarce the resource can become, especially with international tensions. So this is something that we like to stress. regarding going green, and besides the issue of geopolitical level, there are some standards and some documents that have been developed at European level. And in particular, what we see in Europe and in Italy, but this is coming even more frequent in the Americas, in some part of the Middle East, we start seeing road authorities requiring for minimum environmental criteria, MEC, that, for instance, in Italy should be published in the upcoming months. Basically, road authorities are setting a minimum amount of recycled asphalt to be achieved at every asphalt production site. In Italy, this value will be set at 30%, which is a level of recycling that it's already starting to require the usage of at least softeners and rejuvenators. Because in the normal practice of using 10 to 15 up to 20% of recycled asphalt typically does not require the use of rejuvenators. But as Luca will explain and further on, starting to go beyond 20-30% will require the use of softeners and rejuvenators to replace the oxidized bitumen and to make sure that the performances of asphalt will be adequate. So just going back more broadly, as I mentioned, I need to spend some time introducing the technologies of Iterchimica, because to different extent they are all related to recycled asphalt, and there are things that we need to consider when we recycle asphalt and when we rejuvenate asphalt, depending on the technologies that we may use to improve the performances of the asphalt mix. So the advantages are quite obvious, the one listed in the slide. So reducing carbon emission, which, as we have mentioned, it's a different way of saying saving resources. The technologies of Iterchimica allow also to reduce the thicknesses of the asphalt pavement and therefore saving resources again, increase the asphalt pavement service life. This is also an important aspect to consider when doing recycled asphalt. Then, of course, as I mentioned, recycle the asphalt and rejuvenate the bitumen contained. And then, in general, reducing energy consumption. This is also a very important topic. So the review of the technologies of Iterchimica that I will do shortly are touching all these points. There are some other technologies that also allow to reduce the noise in urban areas, reducing the urban heat. These are less related to recycling, but I will still provide you with an overview just to present you the company. So let me now start with one of the effects and the purposes of Iterchimica technology and understand how this is related to recycling asphalt. So, and I'm referring to the possibility to reduce the thickness and save resources, so the thickness of the asphalt pavement in layers and to save resources. So you have discussed in the first session the importance of the asphalt modification. I'd like to touch on this because when we talk about asphalt modification, we need to distinguish between two main approaches to the modification of asphalt. So the first one is the usage of polymers and other substances to modify the binder, which is typically defined in the industry with different words. So it can be called binder, can be called bitumen, or it can be called asphalt, right? So you have discussed this. The technologies of Iterchimica are not modifying So are not modifying the properties of the binder of the bitumen, but we manufacture additives that are able to modify the asphalt mix. So these are structural modifiers that are added in dry and not in wet method. So when I say wet method, I mean modifying the bitumen. When I say dry method, I mean to modify the mix. So basically, it's very important to distinguish between these two practices, because we will see that this has obvious effects on how we recycled asphalt and how we rejuvenate asphalt. So the technologies that I'm presenting now of Iterchimica allow to modify the mix. So structural modifier that are obtained by adding polymers that, as I said before, can be sourced also in recycled waste plastic, that are added in the form of pellets at the mixer. So basically, when we mix aggregates and bitumen at the mixer of the plant, that can be batch plant or continuous plant, and by doing so, the effect of the polymers and in the process of mixing between aggregates and bitumen are creating an enhanced structure that gives very high mechanical properties to the bitumen. So therefore, it's possible to use reduced thickness of asphalt pavement, because the asphalt mix produced has an increased mechanical and physical characteristics. So you just see an example of this in the slide, the reduction of only 1 centimeter of asphalt pavement over a length of 10 meters, with the width, of 10 meters over the length of 1 kilometer, can save the resources indicated in the picture here below. So not only the CO2, which is very significant, but also in terms of energy, you see almost 170,000 megajoules saved, 12 tons of bitumen, 260 tons of aggregates, at least 16 transfer of trucks, and of course reducing working hours while laying down the reduced amount of asphalt mix. In this slide, you see also what are the effects if you're not when you have an improved asphalt mix. If you're not reducing if you decide not to reduce the thickness by, for example, 1 or 2 or even 3 or even more centimeters, depending on the project, and you need to keep the thickness at the specification level, then you will have, thanks to the improved characteristic of the asphalt mix, you will have an increase in service life. So if you use standard bitumen and you say, as an example, and you have an expected service life of 5 years, by the use of the polymer modified bitumen, typically you can achieve 7.5 years, so plus 50% in service life. With the use of modification of the asphalt mix, you can achieve up to 10 years, so almost doubling the service life. And this will obviously reduce the maintenance required for the asphalt. These are the technologies that Iterchimica has developed. You see G-Pave that I presented, which is an asphalt mix modifier that is sourced from recycled plastic, and it's also used graphene as a further enhancement of the structural interaction between bitumen and aggregates. I will not talk too much about this because it's not the focus of this presentation, but this is also an important aspect to consider. And I will move into the recycling of existing asphalt pavement. But I needed to present you the importance of doing the modification in dry way and in wet way, with the two different methods, because it's important to stress, very important to stress, that if you do the modification in a dry method, then when you are recycling the asphalt, you are still able to achieve high physical and mechanical performances of the asphalt by adding the pellet at the mixer, also using the recycled asphalt. Meanwhile, if you are modifying the bitumen, of course, when you recycle the asphalt, since you are recovering the properties of the original bitumen, unfortunately, you will have the possibility to add only a limited amount of newly produced modified bitumen, and the properties, the elastic properties in particular of the old bitumen, are more difficult to be rejuvenated. So this is an aspect that we need to keep and need to be in particular importance. So the more will increase the amount of the percentages of recycled asphalt, the more the usage of the dry modification will be required, because you can control the performance of the modification better at the mixer, rather than rejuvenating the binder that has been enhanced with a polymer like SBS, for instance. But Luca will touch more about this. One of the aspects that I like to stress and to give you from a business perspective is the strong impact of recycling asphalt and rejuvenate the binder in terms of economics. We believe this is very important, and this also explains why in the last year there has been an increased focus on recycling asphalt, because you can consider that every time you have 10% of recycled asphalt in your new mix, you will reduce the cost of production by 5% approximately. This is a rule of thumb that, of course, can adjust in different countries, but according to our experience, we see this number coming up almost in every country around the world. So let's say that if you use 10% of recycled asphalt in your mix, you will reduce the cost by 5%, which means that if you are able, thanks to the rejuvenating technology, to push the recycling up to 100%, from 10% to 100%, you are able to reduce your asphalt mix production cost from 5% to
Yeah, apparently we have around 5
yes. I am almost done. I will let Luca then to enter into the technicals. I like to give you an overview not only on the company, but on the different technologies that are related to recycling and rejuvenating asphalt. And I think that I touched all the themes that I wanted to provide you. This is the name of our technologies for and product that allow the full rejuvenation of asphalt. It's called Lean ACF. Then Luca will give more detail on this. And I would like, if possible, I would like to, if you don't mind, just to leave the last 5 minutes to take some question, because as you probably know, Luca and myself are holding this webinar from Brazil in South America. This is it's 4 a.m. at the moment. It wouldn't be a problem for me to go ahead, but Luca and I are here to attend for a trial section, also with recycled asphalt, by the way. And shortly we will need to move to the asphalt production plant. So if it's not a problem for you, and we can move the Q&A session just to now and recover the time later. Would that be possible?
Yeah, sure thing. So do you want to start it now, or do you still have slides to present?
I have just a few slides, but I will go extremely quick because I wanted to focus on asphalt modification and rejuvenating only. I will just touch real quick the possibility to do cold asphalt recycling, which is possible up to 100%, but this will be described more in detail by Luca. But real quick, this is also very, very important because especially in large cities, and Jakarta is definitely one of those, it is possible to do on-site rejuvenation cold of asphalt, which means that you can mill up to 100% of we believe this is a very promising application in Indonesia, and we're happy to take questions on this. And Luca will explain this later. So the technology, it's still Iterlean, ACF, but this is the 1000 series versus the 2000 series that is used for hot mix. So this we believe can be a very promising application in Indonesia, and highly sustainable, and definitely can solve some issue with traffic and logistic in very large cities. This has been used in a very large city like Mexico City, has been used in Rome, has been used in many very large cities around the world. So I wanted to touch real quick on this, and then we have all our other technologies like war mix, but
Antonino, we are losing you. Hi, Antonino. I think we are losing you. Untuk Bapak Ibu peserta yang lain masih di dalam ya, saya lihat.
Signal trouble.
Hi, Antonino. I think there is a now he's ya terputus, jadi mungkin kita menunggu sebentar ya Bapak Ibu sambil Oke, sambil menunggu saya mau mengingatkan untuk Bapak Ibu peserta di Zoom maupun teman-teman peserta di sini untuk tetap stay sampai akhir acara, dan pertanyaan bisa disubmit ke link Q&A yang sudah dipublish oleh admin di chat box. Jadi semua pertanyaan terkait sesi yang hari ini, baik sesi pertama tadi mungkin maupun sesi yang ada hari ini, sesi kedua ini bisa ditaruh di Q&A. Dan untuk absensi serta absensi dan feedback kita jadikan satu link dan akan kita publish di akhir acara, sehingga Bapak Ibu harap stay sampai akhir karena nanti kami akan share link tersebut yang bisa Bapak Ibu isi untuk kemudian kami kirimkan e-sertifikat dan e-sertifikat dan juga link materinya nantinya. Jadi harap bersabar dan menunggu hingga akhir acara sampai sekitar jam 4 waktu Indonesia Barat. Sambil saat ini kita masih menunggu koneksi dari Brazil karena ternyata Antonino dan Luca sedang berada di Brazil. Dan di sana udah tengah malam dan we'll wait for them.
Hi, hello. Can you hear me?
Hi, Luca. I can see, I can hear you, but I haven't seen your
My camera.
Presentation.
My camera doesn't work.
Okay.
But we have some problem with the Wi-Fi. However, I will start to share my presentation. So sure. I don't know if Antonino already finished, but okay, even Antonino is here right now.
Well, actually, he hasn't finished yet, but he was in the connection. But I think
I am sorry. Can you hear me and see me?
Yeah, I can see your screen. I can see.
Yeah.
I think I will proceed with the audience here. Somebody, if you have any questions, please raise your hand, and I will give you the microphone. Is there any question? Okay, I think all the audiences don't have any question yet. So
okay. I don't know whether this is good or bad, but in any case, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Thank you.
Sure. Okay. So maybe now we can proceed with Luca for the presentation.
Yeah. So I will introduce you about rejuvenators and recycling asphalt pavement. I will do a short presentation about life cycle assessment. It means that in life cycle assessment, we have to take into consideration different points. One of these points is the reuse of the material present in the road. So consideration other points. For example, the transportation, the production and compaction temperature, the lifespan of the payment. And so in this process, there are a lot of parameters, a lot of additives that should be taken into consideration and that can be used. In our case, in this presentation, we see just the topic about the rejuvenator, so the one in the market with the red. In terms of emission, minus 4%, more or less in terms of energy consumption. Instead, if we sum the benefits of the wrap with the polymer, okay, so it means instead to use a wet a PMB, so instead a wet method, a dry method, in this case, the benefits in terms of energy consumption and in terms of emission are higher than the reference mixer, and the and so we have to we can reuse it and not take this material like a waste, but a source. So one of the questions that usually we ask to our client is the type of plant that they have, because in function of the plant that the client have, we can define if it's possible or not to increase the dosage of REP. So usually a lot of clients that we have, they use 10-15% of REP in their asphalt plant. So it's the quantity of REP is very low. So and sometimes they don't take that can reuse up to 100%. Usually they prefer to use 90%, but even 100 is allowed. In Italy, there is another plant is Master Tower from Marini. In that case, it's possible to reuse even that plant 100% of RAP. In this case, I will show you an example where we use 70% of RAP in that case. So the way how to reuse RAP can be in a hot way or in a cold way. when we use RAP in a core way, usually the dosage of RAP is around 20-30%, no more, even because the aggregate temperature, in order to achieve the production temperature around 160, 170 degrees, should be between 200 to 230 degrees. So it means I have to increase the temperature of the virgin aggregates in order to keep fixed the production temperature energy consumption in the asphalt plant, and benefits even in terms of the workability of the mixer. In other case, when we use not just cold but even hot RAP, it means that they can preheat it. It depends on the type of plant that they have. They can preheat it, so the temperature of the RAP can be around 100, 120 degrees. In that case, there is not water in the humidity in the RAP, so we don't have to heat the aggregates up to 200, 230 degrees. We can accept a reduction of the temperature of the virgin aggregates, and even in this case, we can have a balance in terms of the temperature between aggregates and RAP. And in that case, we can even produce a hot mix asphalt at 160 degrees, 170 degrees without any problem, and using 40-50% of RAP. Instead, the type of plant that they're using 90-100%, usually in that case they use a specific system to heat the aggregate